I've been on a skateboard a couple of times in the 70s, probably 76 when it was, sort of popular, but I never owned a skateboard until 83. And I bumped into a couple of lads on a demonstration I was on, a peace march, a couple of other punk rockers, because I was a punk rocker in my young days. They were into skateboarding, and I thought, yeah, perfect. I think that's great. It's totally uncool to be a skateboarder in the early 80s, and it's a free way of getting around. It's cheap, and you could pick them up for 50p at jumble sale, so I got into it straight away. The first places I started skating in Milton Keynes, I lived in Newport and then on Netherfield, and there was a skate spot at the end of Netherfield. I lived on the Hyde, so it was the first spot that was like dead local outside my front door. And then we'd be up at the shopping centre. Before they put doors on, you could skate around. You could skate there any time of the day or night. So we'd be up there regular, up by John Lewis if it was daytime, or anywhere at night time, especially after the pubs had closed and you'd have a few drinks. We'd go all the way down through all the little office bits. We skated in, I think they called it the Beige. We skated there in like 83 and 84. I think it's probably before anyone else did. And then down at the bus station. And when I was at the bus station, in them days, the downstairs bit was a 24-hour cafe, so you could skate inside as well. I began using the skateboard instead of just a form of transport, and like to get into tricks was probably about 84, because you could ride it around all day, but there was places you could go, and I ended up at the bus station on my own late at night, and I thought, right, I'm going to try the acid drops, which was an old school trick, just jumping off the edge of the blocks. I hadn't heard of ollieing, but I knew how to do an acid drop. And then, 360s, everyone wanted to do 360s, which are still really cool. Other spots in Milton Keynes that we found that we could skate, there's two that weren't the standard Milton Keynes, either a flat bank or a block. There was Willen Ditch, which was very tight and impossible to skate that well. And then there was Caldecott Ditch. We found that entirely by accident. It was painful but great fun. It was pretty grubby when I first got there, but it was swept out and cleaned. And skaters would turn up with brooms, or you just whatever you could just to sweep the gravel and the mud out of the way. You could ride it, you could pump it, but that was never the cool way to do. You needed to be able to drop in. The first time I dropped in to Caldecott, I really landed badly. Did not expect to be going straight up again. We had spotters at the top of the pipe to stop the boards from hitting the water. They didn't grab mine. So for my first ride into Caldecott was a bang on the head and then into the cold water, which woke you up. Another spot was it was an old youth club on Pear Tree Bridge Youth Club, which was closed down. That had a huge hall at the bottom. We got into that. All the windows were put in by vandals. But we got in, and again, that was another place that in the winter was undercover, so you could skate that. And there was a lot of ramps in there. That was a little bit more dicey to skate in because there's lots of broken glass, but still a good spot. And again, you always find half a dozen people there. The days of skating on a Sunday at the bus station became a regular event for us. One of our little clan had a VW van, so we could stick whole loads of people in, and you could fit a little kicker ramp. And they were the right shape to fit on the VW roof because they're curved, same sort of curve. So we'd strap a ramp to the top of that. We'd maybe bring a little block as well. Someone turned up with a decent sort of square rail. But we'd go up there every Sunday, and then more and more people would turn up. More and more people would hear about it. More folks would turn up, and we ended up with because we were all at that point, early to mid-20s. We would then end up with 10, 15-year-olds turning up as well and skating, which was great because you would end up with 20, 25 people skating at the bus station. There was nothing else set up for it. There was nowhere else really in Milton Keynes to skate. And it became a bit of a Sunday afternoon sort of excursion. We'd take a tape player, play some tapes, have a bit of music going on, usually punk rock, but not always. The funniest thing I've ever seen skateboarding, and there is always a lot of humour around skateboarding, is Steph when he turned up. He come down from Glasgow. He's a young lad. He's only 16. Me and Ollie had our skateboards, and he wanted to come round with us. Ollie, who's an artistic genius, without telling anyone about it. Got a roller boot, took the boot off, made a cardboard cutout of a skateboard, drew on grip tape, bolted it to the skate truck itself, and give it to him one night when we was going to go skating. And he rode around on it for about a fortnight before he finally bought a skateboard. And we laughed at him. But then he said, no, it's great, have a go. So he would stand on it with the cardboard deck on it as well. And then when he was rolling along, put his left foot on top of his right foot and stand on that and skate around. And I thought it was ridiculous. And then he said, no, have a go. And we did, we had a go. And it was hilarious. It was, I mean, honestly, try it. It's a real laugh.